what I'm going to do this morning is talk to you a little bit about Worcestershire Works Well. That challenge of keeping to time is always a tough one for me because there's so much to say. So you might see people doing this by the end. My name's Amanda Wright. I work for a charity called Community First, and we're part of the partnership that makes up Worcestershire Works Well. So I'm one of their representatives. So I'm somebody that would go out and guide and support an organisation or a business through the framework that is Worcestershire Works Well. So hopefully what we've got this morning, first of all, is a framework in which you can use some of the things that you'll come across later in your workplace. I'm also part of the steering group and the strategic board, and I've been involved with Worcestershire Works Well right from the very beginning, which was back, we started developing it in 2010 when workplace wellbeing was not fashionable and stress was for wimps and all of that sort of thing. So I've been around a little while, so it's really lovely to see so much enthusiasm for it now. So as I say, it's about supporting health and wellbeing for workplaces in Worcestershire. It's for any organisation that has 5 or more employees. Now, if you don't have 5 employees, a lot of the resources and the framework is on the website, so you can still use it. It just means you wouldn't be able to access the accreditation which we have. So it is an accreditation scheme, so you can get rewarded for your hard work. And there are 3 levels to that. So we have a level 1, level 2, and believe it or not, level 3. If you're really keen, we also have something called the Outstanding Achievement Award, which is where an organisation, once they've achieved their level 1, they're able to pick out an initiative or an approach or something that they feel is innovative and a little bit different and put that forward. And once a year we choose a winner for that. And we've had some quite wide-ranging initiatives that we've recognised through that, from heart start sessions through to mental health in the workplace, through to actually focusing on men working in the council depots and their approach to health and wellbeing. So the standard itself, there are 8 different standards, and I'll tell you what they are in a moment or two. And then once you've achieved level 1, we ask you to choose one more to do your level 2 and another 2 to do your level 3. So you actually build on what you're doing all of the time. And again, I'll talk through what those are in just a moment. The best thing about it is free. And there are lots of resources available, ranging from, we have a newsletter as well, we have regular emails around the health campaigns that go on throughout the year and lots of information there. We have events where people can get together and celebrate their successes and share good practice. That peer-to-peer support, once again, is really, really wonderful through the Worcestershire Works Well businesses. And we also have webinars. We've just started those this year. So just earlier this month we did a webinar which was focusing on menopause in the workplace and also domestic abuse in the workplace, which form 2 of the additional standards that people might choose. So who we are, our partners, we are funded through the Health and Wellbeing Board. So our key partner is obviously Worcestershire County Council and the public health team there. And we also have the Chamber of Commerce for Herefordshire and Worcestershire. And the Chamber of Commerce are currently doing all of the coordination and the admin and the marketing and all that hard work that you all know goes on in the background to make things happen. As well as those 2 and ourselves, we also have Worcestershire Regulatory Services and Active Herefordshire and Worcestershire. And we each take a lead on different areas across the framework. So got to get this right. Public health lead on smoking and alcohol, and WRS health and safety, as you might expect, and also healthy eating. Community First, we focus on the mental health side. So one of my main jobs is promoting mental health and wellbeing and good mental health and wellbeing in the workplace. Chamber of Commerce look after attendance management, leadership and environment and culture, and Active Herefordshire and Worcestershire, no surprises, physical activity, but also musculoskeletal health. So that's something that's been really rising in people's minds since the pandemic, and we've all been squashed up at home working on our little laptops with our shoulders hunched up. So that mindfulness in the workplace, yes, please. Very good idea. So it started back in 2011 with our first organisation as a sort of a pilot and a finding out what we needed to do with DHL, who were a logistics company based up in Berry Hill in Droitwich at the time. and they had some really significant health issues they found with some of their staff. Lots of drivers sitting in lorries all day long, and working with them and putting in place some of the initiatives that we suggested, they actually improved the health and well-being of their staff. They actually saved some lives when they found out some of the things that needed to happen. And then also put in place some other programmes that led to business savings of £37,129 for that year. We couldn't believe it when they told us that. We just were absolutely astounded. So there is money to be saved through doing things like Worcestershire Works Well and putting in wellbeing initiatives into the workplace. So since then, we now have, it goes up by the day, two more requests for support have come in this morning. So we've got 130 businesses of all shapes and sizes. It doesn't matter what sector, as long as there are 5 or more employees. And between them, they employ over 35,000 people, so quite a significant proportion of the workforce in Worcestershire. About half of them have achieved their level 1 or 2 or 3, and that's interesting because as more new organisations come on, that percentage wavers a little bit. So we have standards where we're looking to achieve a certain percentage, but then we keep getting new people sign up, so it drops back down again. I'll just give you a tiny little bit about the context of it all, because I think a lot of you, knowing who you are and where you're from in the audience today, you probably know a lot of this already, or at least get an understanding of it. But Worcestershire, when we started this, we were looking at the workforce and what it looked like, the profile. We have an ageing population in Worcestershire. We have an ageing population in England, don't we? But we're coming up to 25% of people are over the age of 65, and that means we have an ageing workforce as well. And that brings with it different things we need to consider for people. And not least, things like we're going to hear about menopause in the workplace as well. So I won't give you the statistics on that in case I steal anything from anybody else's presentations. But it's not just about us as we get older. We have to think about the younger people as well and who is coming into the workplace as well. And one of the things I read recently was that within the younger population, 21 to 25-year-olds, 12.5% of them are suffering with depression in some way, and that's quite a significant impact. And actually, I don't even know if that's still right now, because with some of the other work that I do, the instances of people who are suffering with their mental health post-pandemic is just going up and up and up and up. So that's something we do need to think about in the workplace. So the statistics I've got here, I think they're all wrong, actually. So, you know, I think it's a little bit different when you unpick what's actually going on. But just as a sort of a general idea, here it says almost 1 in 6 of people of working age have a diagnosable mental health condition. 1 in 3 people in the UK currently have a long-term health condition who are in the workforce. And actually 1 in 3 of those don't disclose that to their employer. Now that says that sometimes we don't know what our staff are going through, and it's important to find out to support them so they can be more productive, etc. And 42% of people with a long-term health condition say that it affects their work to a significant extent or to some extent. So in terms of working days lost, again, it depends where you take your statistics from, but a staggering 70 million working days are lost each year due to mental health problems in the UK, costing employers approximately £2.4 billion a year, and that's from the Mental Health Foundation. So, you know, fairly reliable, but I do know if you look at Health and Safety Executive or elsewhere, then the statistics do sometimes change. One of the other things that we cannot avoid are some of the challenges that we've had in actually trying to manage people whilst in the pandemic, going through the pandemic, coming out of it, and the ongoing effects from it. So HR Today, a little while ago, put a list of 5 key challenges for employers at the moment. Top of the list was lack of engagement. One of the key things that people tell us they get from being involved in Worcestershire Works Well is a more engaged workforce. So I think that's something that we can help with there. So helping with that lack of motivation. Returning to the office, so some people are struggling to make that return. They've got quite comfortable working at home. And then from a management point of view, there have been challenges at the management level of how do we manage all of this? So we've got some people at home now, we've got some people returning to work, and all of that's going on. And then there's also been a lot of people who've really been rethinking what they're doing and what they want to do. So there has been some churn, and we're starting to see some turnover with staff as well. So some people, they don't want to go back to the office and they're leaving rather than doing that. And also some employees have been falling out of practice. So this is the first time I've done a speech like this for quite some time. So you get a little bit nervous about it all, don't you? So there has been that. And also our skill sets have had to change, haven't they? So I didn't do meetings on Zoom before COVID, believe me. That's been a big learning curve. And the other thing, which HR today didn't talk about, but it's something that I am finding when I'm talking to people a lot, is burnout. It's been a long, hard slog, and what we thought was a sprint turned into a marathon, and now it's an ultra marathon, isn't it? It's just like, oh, when is it ever going to end? Okay, so very quickly, some of the benefits. Yes, reduce sickness absence, increase morale and productivity, enhance company reputation for attracting new staff and customers, really important at the moment, isn't it? Reduce turnover of staff and retention of experienced staff as well. So the 8 standards, what they actually are: environment and culture, really important. It's no good just having policies, you've got to bring it to life. Leadership and management, attendance management, health and safety, mental health and well-being, alcohol, substance misuse and smoking, that's a trick one, that's 3 in 1. Healthy eating, and also physical activity and musculoskeletal health, so looking after our bones and our muscles. And some of those additional standards will cover things like ageing well, air quality, carers, supporting carers in the workplace, financial well-being. I think that is going to be something we get a lot of demand for moving forward. Menopause, men's health, oral health, parental health, and supporting families as well. So there's lots of different elements to choose from there. The framework also has a toolkit, and it has a whole host of resources and areas that you can gain additional support as well. So we're not expecting anybody to plough reams and reams of money into this. Wherever we possibly can, we'll supply you with what you need to help you to achieve better well-being for your workforce and better health for your workforce, but also the standards and the accreditations as well. So, as I said, we have webinars twice a year. We have an annual conference that's coming up in the autumn, and that's an opportunity to celebrate the success of businesses, to do a bit of networking and peer support, and also share information. And we also have our Outstanding Achievement Awards there. So our Outstanding Achievement Award is sponsored by Southco, who were the first organisation to achieve level 3 with us. So I'm going to stop there because I'm sure I might be over time, but I've given you a leaflet, so have a look at it, have a look at the website, sign up if you think it's relevant, and then we can talk through anything that you might have. I can't stay for the whole session, so maybe I'll talk to you sometime soon. Thank you very much, everybody.